Today we're going to make a duct tape flower ring that looks similar to this one. And all you will need is a cutting pen, a sharp cutting blade, two different colors of duct tape. One I cut at 16 inches long, the other I cut at 4 inches long, and a ruler and a self-healing cutting mat. So to get started, what I'm going to do is make approximately 16 inches worth of approximately 1 inch squares. Now duct tape isn't exactly 2 inches wide, as you can see, because the grid on my self-healing cutting mat is 1 inch by 1 inch. But what I'm going to do is I tried to position the tape on the cutting mat in between as evenly as possible the 2 inch mark so that I can line it up and cut it lengthwise. And then cut 1 inch about 16 times. These are the petals, and that will give me about 32 petals. They don't have to be perfect. I just cut on the 1 inch grid. We're going to be shaping these into the petal form. As soon as we're done making all of our cuts. You really could have a strip in the color of the petals that you wish, from anywhere from 12 inches to 20 inches. 20 inches will obviously give you more petals, 40 petals, and will make a fuller flower. But 12 inches of 24 petals will look nice as well. Now this green color I'm using for the flower band, the ring band, and the leaves, which are optional of course. So the first thing that I'm going to do is cut a band, and I don't know, maybe a ½ inch wide. And I'm just going to cut one, because what we're going to do with this band is fold it on top of each self, fold it so the adhesive is sticking to itself, and then there is no sticky part of the tape showing. This is going to be our band. You can make it as thick as you like. I just made mine a little bit thinner. If it's not perfect and there's adhesive here, you can cut that off. But this will do. The next thing we're going to need to do is cut a little piece of tape so that we can attach this. So we pick which finger we're going to make our ring on, and then what I'm going to do is make sure that it fits. I'm going to size it to the knuckle. So as long as the knuckle, it can go over the knuckle, we're in good shape. Make it just a little bit larger than the knuckle and pinch that closed. And what I'm going to do is use my little scrap tape here to seal that closed. Now you can buy from jewelry supply or craft stores ring bases made out of metal. I might buy one that's a little bit larger than I need and cover it with, because once it's covered with duct tape it still fits. and then we can just trim this part off. This is now our ring base, and this ring is 100% duct tape. So here's my ring base, and I'm just going to take it off. I just make sure that it fits. I'm going to take it off, and I'm going to set it aside. And now what we're going to do is construct the petals to the flower. Now, the way that we do this is we pull up one of those 1-inch squares, and we're going to take a corner. This is adhesive side up. Cross it over and make an L shape. This does not need to be perfect. There's 2 folds that we're going to make with this duct tape. That's the first one. The second one is taking one of those and bringing that over to the middle so that there is a strip of sticky duct tape that is still showing. Now, depending on whether you made 16 inches or 12 inches, so 24 or 32 petals, you're going to now fold all of those. And I just set them right there, and I'll do the rest. So when all of your petals are completed, you're going to apply the petals to the ring base. And this is very simple, and it goes very quickly once you have all the petals. So, in one hand you hold the ring base, and you'll have a little sort of stem here that forms the center of the petal. Starting at the bottom of the stem, you're going to wrap the petal so that the adhesive sticks to that little stem, and you just wrap it tightly around so that you have the start of the flower. Using that same technique, you're going to apply all of these petals. The second, I'm going to opposite, the point opposite, point the first, and at the same spot, I don't want to go below too much, because then I'll start making the ring smaller, and it'll be less likely to fit. So I wrap that tightly. So there is my second petal. The third, starting at the base, and you'll always want to start there, because if you start to creep up higher, the flower will begin to be somewhat cone-shaped, and it won't flatten out and be very full. It will start to go up and out. Now I'm going to start to pick different spots for my points to be at, and at the bottom start wrapping the petals. Without going too far down and making the ring smaller, and just continue to wrap and apply the petals onto the base of the flower. Kind of altering where I start and stop so that it looks natural. It's not too symmetrical, because flowers aren't perfect. And you can see the little bud that's starting. And I'm staying at the bottom and just wrapping and pushing and pinching so that my petals apply. I'm going all the way around, no particular order. And if you keep at the bottom, then the flower will start to open up, remember. If you start inching where you start the flower, it will start to make a cone. And with each petal, I'm sort of covering up the ends of the other petals. And now that I've started, I'm almost done. Make sure you keep going around the base of the flower so it doesn't get too top heavy in any particular spot. Just checking from time to time the front and see how I'm doing with how it looks. And make sure it's not too perfect or not too lopsided. And the last one, last petal. So here's the back of the ring. Here's the front of the ring. And if you want to add the leaves, it's really just 2 green petals assembled in the same way the petals are, and I've just adhered them to one another. And then we just apply that to the position on the back of the ring. Like that. And we're done.